Lucky Craft launches a new Gunfish and a new Lipless. The first time in 2 years, Deps makes a special batch of Basirisky frogs plus the Buster K's return. And Jeff, after a year of having them in our hands, the official release of the brand new Tekkel Kicker and Clinker. This is what's new this week at the Hookup Tackle. Welcome to the Hookup Tackle. The Hookup Tackle is the world's largest showcase of Megabass products, featuring baits and colors not found at any other dealer. The Hookup also offers a wide display of OSP, Evergreen, Deps, Lucky Craft, Jackal, and many more. The Hookup Tackle is owned and operated by family, is staffed by guides and verified tackle nerds who love helping anglers elevate their craft. If you're in the Phoenix area, we'd love to have you stop by our showroom and check out the wonderful world of Megabass and the Hookup for yourself. If you shop online, there are almost 10,000 SKUs of Megabass products alone, with hundreds of other companies and new products being added daily. So next time you're looking for that hard-to-find bait, that color your fish have never seen before, or maybe you just want to elevate your game, look at thehookuptackle.com. Welcome back, my friends. I am Ben with the Hookup Tackle, Tackle Taku on Instagram, being joined this fine Sunday morning by my buddy Jeffrey the King. Jeffrey the King.
What's going on, dude?
Good morning, sir.
I like your beard.
Oh, well, that makes one person in my life that likes it. It's kind of like my time to piss my wife off thing, and I'm, you know, when I get my point across, I'm gonna shave it, maybe. Or it could just be that I'm lazy. It's probably that.
It's probably that.
You know, I was wanting to be a mountain man for trout weekend, and I just have never shaved it. So, you know, it makes me look young.
Yes.
That's how
young.
I feel. Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Would you like a beer?
I'm fine.
It also makes me feel young. Delicious Orion from Okinawa. It's kind of like a fountain of youth.
Is that what they're advertising it as?
They should. You know, maybe that's what we need to do. Fountain of youth video. Bunch of hot chicks. Me on a beach. Can we go back there?
An Okinawa beach.
Hey, any beach is fine. My backyard. It's cool. Just bring the hot chicks, Jeff. I got the Orion.
Okay.
Yeah, you bring the chicks.
Easy.
Happy Sunday morning, everybody. We are the Hookup Tackle USA. This is what's new this week at the Hookup Tackle. New product drops, important restocks, chance for us just to be ridiculous and take up some time on a Sunday morning. So cheers to you guys. Happy Sunday, everyone. You want to talk about tackle?
I guess we should.
All right. Super stoked for its base. It feels, so last week or the week before was Trout Week, right? It feels like it's Topwater Week this week in this episode. So some really cool things. Really pumped about these first two items. So Jeff and I have been lucky enough to have been working with Hideki at Teckel on a couple of these items for the last year. You realize we've had the Qlinker now for a year?
Yeah.
This is a brand new frog concept. There's also a brand new hard bait concept called the Chop Kicker. I'm going to show both of them to you. So we have taken this Qlinker all across the country. The first place we went was New York, right? We took it to the St. Lawrence. We took it to Champlain, Ticonderoga. We've taken it to Florida, here in Arizona. This is a really cool new frog that you guys, it's going to become a staple, I think, for everyone. So here is a look at the brand new Tekkel Clinker frog. Now I'm going to take this guy out. Now, we were fortunate enough to have Hideki in our shop a couple weeks ago. We sat down, talked to him, really tried to understand the concept behind not just these two baits, but kind of, you know, what makes his mind click. And if you guys would like to see that interview, we filmed it too. So we'll drop it this week so you guys can see the operation behind the curtain there. But here is a look at the brand new Tekkel Clinker. Okay, so this was designed to be kind of a wake bait frog, if you will. Now, because it's a frog, it is definitely going to be floating. It's going to be on the surface. But he spent years developing this rear blade element. And what that blade element does is it allows you to cast this frog and just retrieve it. And the blade does all the work, which forces the frog to move back and forth, right? So no more rod manipulation and having to learn how to walk the frog, the blade is going to do the work for you. Now, not only is it going to walk the frog, but because that dual blade is in there, that blade clacks and creates a knock. And it's a very unique knock. It's a little bit different knock than what you would expect out of like a kick knocker. It's more of like a good pecker knock, I would say. So you get this kind of knocking sound. So when you want the bait to be loud and draw the fish's attention, but you still need to fish it in heavy cover, that's where this bait is really going to shine. If you guys fish from a kayak, if you fish from shore, and you find it difficult to be able to walk a frog, right? A lot of times you're on a kayak and you don't have the ability to stand up, right? So you're kind of having to sit down. It can be hard sometimes to walk a frog, you know, sideways or with a rod in a strange place. This is going to totally change your world, because now you can just cast it and just wind it, and it's going to perform perfectly just on a straight retrieve, but it's still going to sit low enough like a walking frog versus like a buzzing frog or something, to where they're actually going to get it in their mouth and you're going to smoke them. So super excited about this. I know you guys are going to love this, and a lot of you have been waiting on this. This will eventually become a core item, but the first batch I would anticipate is going to be really hot, because a lot of guys have been looking for it. So let me break down the colors for you and run through the whole color lineup so you know what is available. So you're looking at chartreuse gill. Okay, so this is color number 1. Now, some of the colors will have a painted blade on the bottom as well, and some will just be either the silver or the gold. So chartreuse gill is color number 1. We have wild rat. Okay, so kind of a cool mouse pattern there, kind of a reddish gray mouse pattern. We have, of course, pearl white. So this is a color that comes from the other frog lineups within Tekkel, so pearl white. Try to do this without dropping. Lemon lime. We have black. We have orange belly, so it's kind of like a camo type color, and you got the orange belly hit there. You have bluegill. Okay, real natural gill pattern. You have pink rat. And Louise, we actually posted yesterday on Instagram. Louise has been throwing this color, of course, because he's a big pink fan. So kind of a nice subtle color there. And then, of course, bone. Okay. So there you go. The brand new frog drop from Tekkel. You guys are going to love this thing. Enjoy it. Grab them. Available now. All right. The second brand new bait from Tekkel. This one is super sick for me because I'm a huge fan of buzz baits. I like ploppers, but I've never really been into ploppers as much as buzz baits, and now this kind of fills that gap for me. I introduced to you the brand new Tekkel Chop Kicker. Okay, so this is a plopper style bait, but what he has done is he has taken a bait that's similar to a kick knocker, so it's a little bit thinner profile than what you guys are used to, designed more to be retrieved on a straight retrieve. And he spent years developing the perfect stainless, I guess we'd call it a prop on the back. It's not really a blade, it's more of a prop. So they're all kind of hand cut in here in the shape. What this bait does is it allows you to fish it like a plopper or like a buzz bait. So you can fish it at any speed. So you can throw it out, and on a slow retrieve, it's gonna have a very subtle kind of plop. On a faster retrieve, it's going to have more of a buzz type sound, right? A little bit louder buzzing sound. You can also fish it like if you guys are in Florida or places where things like a devil's horse or a prop style bait work really good. It fishes great like that on just kind of a rip and stop retrieve as well. So you get a lot of versatility and a lot of possibilities out of this bait. It's got a totally unique sound, a unique look, so it's just going to get you guys some strikes that other guys aren't getting if all they're doing is just throwing a plopper or a buzz bait. It's going to kind of bridge that gap and give you something unique and different. So again, I'll fly through the colors. They're going to match kick knocker colors. So of course I'm starting here with bone. Okay, so you got the bone one. You've got chartreuse shiner. You have clear ice, threadfin shad, Pro Blue Shore, Vanilla Ice, chrome, and black shore. Okay, so there is the color run. Now, Jeff, you've been in the boat. You and Hideki went fishing the other day. Talk to me about this. What do you think about the chop kicker?
Well, fishing with Hideki, you know, the maker of the bait, you get to ask him all the questions, and pretty much what he told me was that there's no wrong way to fish it. It's what you have to figure out for yourself. And he's basically said, whatever sound, whether it's the plopping or just a straight retrieve, whatever retrieve sounds good to you is the retrieve to use. And so basically, when I was with him, he caught a really nice smallmouth on the bait, and then I went fishing with CJ the other day, and I was working it more like a rip style bait, and the fish were coming up and absolutely blasting it. So
cool.
It's a really dope bait. So
Sick.
I'm excited for a lot of these guys to get this bait in.
I'm excited for it too. Hey Griff, I know you've been using this, so we've had some of these final prototype samples floating around here for about a year. I know you've been throwing the chop kicker. Give me your experience on the chop kicker that we can share. Well, here, why don't you share it with everybody? Griff, everyone. Yee. He's always gonna lower the camera, dude. You're short.
What a dick. Yeah, so I'm throwing this just like I would throw a buzzbait, minus I'm not gonna throw it on the land and work it in. But you can fish it at any pace. You can fish it slow. You can fish it fast. You can rip it. You can do quick pops with it. I've found that fishing it near brush, I've had the most luck on it. They're really smashing it when they hit it, and when they hit it hard every single time. It's pretty dope.
Thank you, Griff.
Yeah.
That was a lot of words. You tired?
Out of breath.
Take a break. Have a beer. You want a beer?
No.
Okay. So there you go, guys. Super excited about that. The brand new chop kicker from Tekkel is available now. All right, while we're on Tekkel, we also see a huge restock in most of the other baits too, as well as Kicknocker pups. These came back a couple weeks ago. They flew out of here. So if you guys missed out on, you know, clear ice, bone, and the usual colors, we also still are at the last of our batch of our custom colors. So if you need to stock up, Saki Bomber, White Walker, Ghost Geisha is almost gone for good. So if you missed any of those, you can grab those now from Tekkel. All right, Jeff, it's been 2 years. Went back and checked inventory. 2 years since Deps has made this frog. And we've been getting questions for 2 years on when is this ever gonna come back? Well, if you have been waiting, the time is now. The Deps Basirisky frog returns. Now, it's been so long since this has been in the market, you might not even remember this frog. Or you might even be new to fishing and have no idea this frog even existed, right? So I'm gonna break it down for you guys just in case we're starting from scratch here. So this is available in two sizes, a 60 and a 70, okay? So 60 millimeter and a 70 millimeter. So just so you know, the small one, the 60 millimeter, weighs ½ an ounce. So it's a compact small frog that you can throw that's still castable. The 70 millimeter weighs ¾ of an ounce. Okay, so it throws incredibly well. Now, the Basirisky is a very unique shaped frog, really not even labeled as a frog. Okay, so they call it a soft crawler bait. Okay, that's the name of the Basirisky. And if you look on the back, you can kind of see how the hook is positioned in there. Now, this is a single hooked frog. Okay, so you're usually used to having, you know, like a double frog hook on the side, right? Well, the Basirisky was designed for fishing open water, so it is a single frog hook, and you'll notice that it has these two kind of appendages on it. Okay, so when you fish it in open water and you throw it and you retrieve, these flex on the water and it gives the frog movement. Okay, and that's kind of how the frog was designed, was to be a crawler. Now, the way most people utilize this frog is in crazy heavy cover. Okay, so if you guys are fishing around wood, if you're fishing around like a laydown, for instance, or a wood jam, right? Maybe there's a big pile of wood and you know there's fish in there. One of the problems to throwing a double hooked frog is if it turns to the side, right? If this is all wood and that frog kind of goes to the side, there's a hook there to snag, and they're real snaggy. Right? And you guys know that, especially if you're using braid and you get a frog snagged in wood, it's an absolute disaster, right? Next to impossible to ever get it out. Well, the Basirisky kind of crawls through that. So these legs are kind of allowing it to come up to something and then crawl up and over it and keep going. So you can put this frog into some gnarly shit that you wouldn't normally throw a traditional frog, and it will come out and through it. So it's a super dope frog to have in your arsenal when you need that ability to really crawl up and over stuff, okay? So I'm gonna fly through the lineup. They also do make, if you're an old school guy like me, even though I look young, right? There's two versions. Hey, quiet down. Two versions. There is a soft belly and a hard belly, okay, frog. This is the soft belly version, okay? So if you're wondering which version came back, the soft belly, okay? So here you go. Let me run through the color line here really quick so you know what is available. So jet black is what I have in my hands. And by the way, each color will be available in the 60 and the 70 size, okay? So jet black. We have, of course, bone crackle. All right, so kind of an all white. We have red black. Okay, so just a little bit of red on the top. We have fire salamander. Okay, so again, black with chartreuse on the top. Okay, so 3 black colors. We have matte chartreuse, so full chartreuse. Jeff's favorite color, bubblegum pink. We have a new color in the line, aquamarine. Okay, so this is kind of almost a transparent clear smoke, pretty cool. And then of course, Angola python. Okay, so kind of a nice muted white shad kind of tone. So there you go, while supplies last. Look, I ordered 1 million of these things. It didn't happen, right? So take advantage. Whatever I have is probably all we're gonna see for a while until they do another batch. So if you've been waiting or this speaks to you, definitely scoop them up. While supplies last, the Basirisky available from Deps. While we're on Deps and while we're on frogs, it's like frog week almost. One of my absolute favorite frogs, I know a lot of you guys have been asking for the return. They are back. The Deps Buster K returns from Deps Japan. Now, this is an amazing frog. You guys know a few weeks ago we brought the Slither K back, which is the frog's designed to really just walk super easy on the surface. The Buster K is designed as a popping frog, but it is one of the easiest frogs to walk as well. Now, the Buster K internally has Kenta calls it a weight transfer. It's really just a weight. Okay, it's just kind of flopping around in there. But what that does is when you cast, it helps that weight shoots to the back and it helps the castability of this frog so you can make amazingly accurate casts with this. Again, designed as a popping frog, but the way it's built and the way the lip kind of is soft, it walks so easy, right? So highly recommend this frog. It has rabbit hair on the back instead of your traditional skirting material. Probably, in my opinion, at least how I fish, the best hookup ratio frog I've ever used. That would be my take on it. It's got the dual kind of pee holes in the back, so if water ever fills in, it's pretty easy to flush it out. It's just an amazing frog. So I'll fly through the colors. You have visible black. You have the new Angola python. You have shooting star, kind of a cool, like a silverish color. This guy got kind of smashed in the package there, but you've got moss green. You got that one. That one will be a surprise. Bone crackle. Thank you, Jeffrey. Visible shiner. You could see it down there when it fell, huh?
Yeah.
It's because it's visible. And jet black. So there are the color runs. Again, while supplies last, these are available. Just to spec it for you, 61 millimeters, ½ ounce. Okay, so there you go. Buster K's in stock. All right, while we're on Deps, a few key restocks to let you guys know about. One of the best kind of topwater / wake baits that's been out on the market for years has been this guy. This is the Deps BuzzJet. Supply has been almost next to impossible on this thing. This is just a very simple kind of wake prop style bait. It's very loud and it works very slow and subtle. So when you think of where you would normally throw like a buzzbait, for instance, if it's just too fast and you need something to really be slower and move but have that same kind of appeal, that's where the BuzzJet's really going to shine. So we see a huge restock in both the BuzzJet and the BuzzJet Junior. I'll fly through a few of the key colors that I know a lot of you guys have been looking for. So you see colors like Matt Wakawa come back. You see Bone Shad return. You see Real Katahasu, which is a special color that they make. You see Flash Gill, the black, the bluegills, right? All return this week from Deps in the BuzzJet. If you want something a little bit longer, same basically idea, but more of a longer profile, we also see a return of the Deps Spiral Minnow. So same idea, it's just gonna be more of a minnow shape. You can wind this thing down also and get it down into, you know, 8, 10, 12 inches of water, but really it's designed to be fished right at the top. As it moves, that minnow head is going to be just subsurface while that back tail is, you know, waking and kicking on the surface. So just a great all-around bait. Either way you go, you've got a couple different options here, right? So one is a little bit shorter and fatter, one's a little bit longer and skinny. So there you go, some options. So again, just to fly through the colors, you've got colors like Bone returns, the black, the bluegills, everything is back in that guy's Spiral Minnow from Deps. All right, while we are on dope wake bait topwaters, super killer wake bait from Deps returns. The MT Wake is finally back again. Not to sound like a broken record, but it's been about a year since we've had these guys in stock. So this is a 95 millimeter body, 1.7 ounces. It's available in a handful of colors, so I'll show them to you really quick and I'll describe it just in case you're new to this bait. Sexy Shad, Skeleton Pink, you've got Smoke Mustard, you've got Bone Shad, Blue Shad, which should just be called Chrome Blue, Jet Black, and MG Bluegill, okay? So let me take one of these out, and a lot of you guys are familiar with this, have been waiting for these to come back. If you are not familiar with it, this is a decent sized wake bait, obviously 1.7 ounces. I'm gonna say fully inspired by the gong. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So sticking with that kind of traditional big bladed back end back here, right? Now this is a segmented wake bait. It is designed to be a wake bait that you can fish through nasty shit. Okay, so a lot of wake baits are really just kind of topwater crankbaits and the treble hooks hang, and if you get it too close to wood or something like that, they get snaggy. The MT Wake is designed to be more of like a four-wheel drive version of a wake bait. So they've done a couple things. The first thing you'll notice is that there's kind of these, I don't even know what to call them. They're like these little outcroppings here underneath by each hook. What that's doing is it's preventing that hook from sliding too far forward, which does a couple things. A, it prevents it from kind of wrapping around the lip or each other. But the other thing is it keeps it focused on kind of a rear angle back here. Okay, so you notice that the rear hook is larger than the front. They are specifically lined up with this lip. Okay, so as this is coming through, if my arm is a log, you can hit it in the log and it will bounce up and over and deflect up and off cover, where most wake baits are just going to be snagged. So it's a pretty cool one. So if you guys want to throw it in some nasty stuff, you can. It's got a lot of sound to it. It's got internal beads in there. Of course, this blade's going to clack. So you get a loud wake bait that can go through kind of just an all-terrain type deal. So there you go. While supplies last from Deps, the MT Wake is back. All right, Jeff, this next one is just for you.
Okay.
Why don't you talk us through this?
Oh my god. What do you mean? These are not restocks. You just grab these off the shelves. We've had these in stock.
I know. I just wanted you to have a chance to talk about your favorite type of lure.
Good heavens.
It's a bug bait. You love these things.
Yeah. They're so rad. You know, the smaller the better. And, you know, if you're chasing trophy grade largemouth, this is one of the best baits to do it with.
What?
Forget your deep cranks, forget
more.
your big swim baits.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so natural. And what giant fish wouldn't want to just eat a nice, easy meal like a bug bait? You know, light line, it's a lot of fun, and it's just so dope. That is bug fishing.
Oh, they're still going.
That is bug fishing at its finest, and we have so many different options. I mean, we have the OSB, HP.
All right, dude, I'm over it. Enough. You had your window. Now look, there's probably a couple people that watch our channel that watch your channel as well, right? Please watch Jeff's videos. Don't subscribe though, because I want to make sure that
I do
we
get like
maintain the most
subscribers.
popular channel here in Arizona. I just don't want you to catch up.
I see.
But I've noticed that you've changed a lot of your videos to have a starting title.
Mm-hmm.
The quest for
chasing the one.
Chasing the one. That's it. Quest would have been better.
Quest was already taken by a guy named Trev Gowdy.
Yeah, trademarked.
Sue.
Yeah. I'm expecting to see some of these pop up in some of your videos, right? Because we've been talking about them as like a follow-up bait, right? So you probably thought I was going to talk to you about these.
Well, why would you do that?
Okay, well,
Those are useless.
since you just talked about your favorite bait,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to talk about one of mine. So this is the Deps Slide Swimmer 250. Now, I'm talking about it today because we got a pretty huge restock from Deps. So if you guys are prepping for, your glide bait season, kind of coming out of summer and in cool temps, you guys are going to get back into it. This is a great time to grab these. Probably the most famous glide bait in the world, I would say. So these are 250 millimeters, 6.2 ounces. A lot of key colors return. We're seeing butch brown bass. We're seeing flash carp. We're seeing pro blue shiner. Those are definitely going to fall, so I'll stop stacking them. Wild carp, ghost IU, real Ketahasu. So a lot of colors are back. So if you've been waiting on 250s, great time to scoop them up. Those are back from Deps. And thank you for that bug segment, Jeff.
Of course.
That was enlightening.
That's what I'm here for.
All right, a few other restocks really quick. A lot of you guys have been scooping these up and sending me photos of some amazing catches. So thank you, first off, for including me in on, if you guys are having success with this stuff, we would love to hear about it. And if you're not having success with it, we'd love to hear about that too, because I want to make sure you're having success, okay? But a bait that's been one of our more popular baits over the last month or two, the Evergreen JT115 returns in a lot of the new colors, okay? So if you guys missed out or just looking to re-up, now's a great time to do it. The JT115 is a totally silent walking topwater, built to move similar to like a wood bait would, so it has a wider, kind of flashier, rockier motion to it. Totally silent. So it's a great one when the fish get kind of spooked. I've seen a lot of loud baits. It can be a great one to add. So for now, the JT115 is in stock. We also see a restock on some soft plastics from Evergreen Japan this week. So kicker bugs return, as do the double motion. Okay, so if you guys are looking for a unique bait that you could throw on a wobble head this time of the year, flipping, pitching, any of that is a great option for these. Kicker bug has two sizes. There's a 4-inch and a 3-inch version. Ribbed underbelly. You've got a lot of appendages, segmented appendages, lots of little kind of bubble eggs. I think that's the technical term. But you're basically just going to get a lot of movement and a lot of quiver as they shake and move. So it could be a great option for you. The double motion is kind of just a speed crawl style bait. A lot of guys here have been keeping this hush hush. Guys are using it as a chatterbait trailer. They're using it as a little finesse bait to flip, because it just gives a little bit different look, a little bit different action than say like a zoom speed crawl will. Okay, so if you're looking for something similar but just slightly different, this could fill a good gap for you. So while supplies last, those also return from Evergreen Japan. While we're on soft plastics, we also get a big restock this week from one of our favorite brands, Reaction Innovations. The new color Hitman returns in the Sweet Beaver, the Spicy Beaver, as well as the Fat Flirt. Fat Flirt has been a crazy popular worm this summer. It's just a dope big worm, And we definitely need more dope big worms. So you guys can fish it as a shaky head. You can Texas rig it. A lot of you guys have been using it as a free rig option, which is something that's relatively new, and smoking them. So Hitman is just this great kind of all black color that has that kind of red, kind of pearl glow to it. So if you've been looking to restock more of those are available. We also see the full line of Fat Flirts return. Okay, so Bloody Mary, Scuppernong, Magic Morning, all return in that guy from Reaction Innovations. All right, Jeff, big week from Lucky Craft this week. They are announcing these as their official ICAST 2022 releases, even though they weren't at ICAST. It's just kind of lining up with that time of the year. Super stoked for a few of these baits to drop. Some I knew were coming in, some I didn't know about, like this one, but this one's an exciting one. So you guys know that we talk a lot about the Lucky Craft Gunfish around here. It's just a great all-purpose bait. A brand new Gunfish 95 3-hook version is now available. Now they are going to launch this in 4 colors initially, so you're going to see it in Aurora Black, Ghost Minnow, Sexy Mama, and Chartreuse Shad. Okay, so you get 4 color options. It's still 95 millimeters. It's still 12 grams, so 3/8 of an ounce. So everything specs out the same. Really, the only difference between this and the Gunfish 95 that's out right now is this is going to give you a 3-hook version versus the standard 2 hooks. Now, gone is the feathered treble. Okay, so you're going to have a little bit different movement on this. You're not going to have quite the lag on the back, but the advantage of having 3 hooks is when the fish really want something and they're really eating it, the less hooks, the better, right? So the fewer the hooks, usually the better the hookup ratio is. So if you're just using 1 hook, it's usually a lot easier to drive it through where you need it, right? When you go to 2 hooks, then you just run the risk of them being kind of hooked on weird places. When you run 3 hooks, then there's even more hooks to kind of get in the way. So if they're just absolutely smoking it, stay with the 2 hook. But if they're starting to slap it or kind of just swipe at it or not quite get it, which happens a lot of times, either when the water gets really warm and they get lethargic, or sometimes it's just the way they're eating it, right? They're just not fully committed and you're missing a lot of topwater fish, then the more hooks you have on there, the more opportunity that you're going to get them, right? And that's where the 3-hook version comes into play because, you know, we just end up notoriously missing a lot of fish on topwater. So I'm excited to get this guy in. I'm excited to get it in your hands. Again, 4 colors, the brand new 95 Gunfish 3-hook version from Lucky Craft is available now. All right, we also see 2 new Lipless drops this week from Lucky Craft. So you guys know that they have had the LV500 and they've had the LV RTO 200 or even 150, right? So it's gone 100, 150, 200, right? Well, now there is a new 120 LV RTO and a 170 LV RTO, right? So when I first saw these, I thought, really, do we really need a 120 and a 170 to go in between these 3 that we already had? But the baits are slightly different and they're pretty exciting. So I want to walk through them with you. Now, they're going to be available also in 4 colors. So let me go start with the colors. So there's a Ghost Minnow, there's an Aurora Gold, there's a T.O. Craw, and there is a Golden Shiner. Okay, so 4 colors in both the RTO 120 and the 170. Now, what these are designed to do is these are designed to act and swim tighter than what an LV500 has been doing, right? So really, Takahiro Omori and Lucky Craft got together. There's an old school bait called the TD Vibration. Everybody used to throw. You remember that guy from Daiwa? It was a Team Daiwa Lipless.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, so back like 20 years ago, that was like the hush-hush secret bait that everybody threw, the TD Vibration. And then, of course, like a lot of good things, it got discontinued. But it was a thin bait that had a super tight action to it, right? So Lucky Craft wanted to build something that mimicked that tight action, but that also cuts through grass incredibly well. So they're even referring to these as more of like a grass cutting lipless. So you'll see that they're very thin at the bottom, right? So it's a thinner overall profile. It's a little bit longer profile than what you're used to with a lot of Lucky Craft lipless. You've got it weighted very specifically so that on a lift and drop, it will stay and maintain that horizontal drop, right? But it's going to be balanced perfectly for perfect ripping out of the grass and then immediately going back and tracking true. So it's going to be pretty dope. I'm going to spec these guys out for you because the weights are a little bit different. So on the 170 version, okay, it's 3 inches. So 75 millimeters, it's 3/4 of an ounce. So it's going to be similar to like an LV500 would be, right? Now, on the 120 version, okay, it's 2.5 inches, 5/8 of an ounce. So it's almost a 3/4 ouncer as well. So it's going to cast like a bomb. I'm pretty stoked for these guys. So there you guys go. 2 brand new lipless from Lucky Craft available now. While we're on lipless, we also see a big restock in some key colors in the LV500. This is without question our best-selling lipless. So colors like Spring Craw, Aurora Ghost Wakasagi, Live Threadfin Return. We also see a couple that haven't been around in a while. So if you guys have been waiting for Ghost Chartreuse Shad or MS Ghost Minnow, both return this week from Lucky Craft in the LV500. We also see another new product drop from Lucky Craft. We see the Lightning Pointer 110 DD. Now, the Lightning Pointer 110 has been one of our best-selling jerkbaits in the Lucky Craft lineup. Made in Japan, real tight movement, $9.99. So one of the best-priced made in Japan JDM jerkbaits. Now they're offering it in a DD version. So it's just gonna get down a few feet deeper. So where the original is gonna stay in kind of that 2 to 5 foot, depending on your line, this is gonna be a good one for like that 7 to 9 foot zone. Again, depending on your line. We see it launch here in 6 colors. So I'm gonna fly through them really quick. Bone Pearl Blue, Pearl Threadfin Shad, BE Gill, and of course Aurora Black, Chartreuse Shad, and Ghost Minnow. Okay, now let me just pop one of these out because I want you to see the lip. Because it's a little bit different lip shape. So lip's going to come off the front of the bait there versus off the bottom, right? You can see it's kind of a thin lip, so it's going to keep that vibration really tight and the movement really tight, right? So it's going to have a real tight action, but it's going to go definitely nose down as it dives. So again, $9.99. It's a great buy. It's a great bait if you guys just need something different in your deep diving arsenal from Lucky Craft, the Lightning Pointer 110 DD, available now. All right, and I know it's spybait season for a lot of you guys. Last week we had that huge spybait restock from Duo. Spinbait 80s, Spinbait 80G fixes, 90s, in a bunch of new colors last week. So if you guys missed last week and you love spybaiting, definitely check those out. There's a ton of really limited colors and new colors from Duo. We are also bringing in to the store, so new for us, the Lucky Craft Screw Pointer 80. So a lot of you guys have been asking us to bring this in. This is going to be another 80 millimeter spybait style that's weighted a little bit heavier than what a Duo would be. So if you need that 80 profile, but you need it a little bit heavier, this could be a great option for you. So it's 80 millimeters, of course, 3¼ inch, but it's 7/16 of an ounce. So it's almost 13 grams. So you're almost at a full ½ ounce here for such a small bait. So it'd be great for fishing a little bit faster or a little bit deeper, depending on what you need it to do, okay? So there are 5 colors: Chartreuse Shad, Pearl Threadfin, Aurora Black, BE Gill, and Ghost Minnow, available this week from Lucky Craft. All right, we also see a restock this week in the Sammy 65. It seems like every time I bring these in, they fly out. It is a re-release of, you know, definitely one of the most popular sizes in the Lucky Craft arsenal. They're starting to sell out. I grabbed the last of what Lucky Craft had left. So if you need to fill your box, or maybe you missed out the last couple of drops, there should be some available still this morning on this guy. Colors like Chartreuse Shad, Aurora Black, Sexy Mama, all back in stock in the Sammy 65. Now, while we're on smaller baits, you know, we had that great trout week. A lot of you guys responded really well by just trying different things, right? Not just staying in one lane, but understanding that different baits, even though they're all tiny, they're gonna have different movements, different motions, and sometimes the movement of one is the motion the fish are looking for over the other, right? So we see a return this week, and a lot of these are considered the official drop for Lucky Craft, but there's some that we've had in the past that you guys have been using. So I'm gonna fly through them really quick. We see the Pointer 48 return. And these are gonna be back in both the original 48 as well as the DD. So I'll show those to you here in a second. So all the key colors, Chartreuse Shad, Ghost Minnow, BE Gill, Aurora Black. Here is the DD version. So you can decide if you want it to go down a little bit deeper or if you want to stay shallow. In this size of a bait, this is a bait that's gonna go probably 1 to 3 feet, and this is gonna go like maybe 2 to 5 feet depending on the line, right? It's a great one when you need to downsize. It's only 48 millimeters, 2.6 grams, so you're in BFS/spinning rod territory here, but those return. We also see a restock in the Bevy Shad 60 SP. So this is one that we dropped a couple weeks back. Just a very, very popular bait that used to be in their lineup 15, 20 years ago. It's turned into a Japan-only offering now. We are convincing them to bring some over. Some great colors return. Gill's back, Boso Wakasagi, basically the whole color line in the 60 SP returns. This is a great one. It's almost 5 grams, okay? 58.5 millimeters, so we'll just round it up to 60, right? So those return as well this week from Lucky Craft. We also see a big restock in the B-Freeze 65 and the Pointer 65. Okay, so 65 size returns in both. Now, what's the difference between the B-Freeze and the Pointer? The packaging. It's the same thing. Okay, so in Japan, they call it the B-Freeze. In the US, they call it the Pointer Minnow. They're both 65, suspending, some great colors mixed in there. So all of those return this week. And we also see a return in the B-Freeze 78 in the floating version. So if you guys are looking for a good small profile floating jerkbait to fish high over cover, shallow water, over grass, that returns as well this week. And then finally from Lucky Craft, we see a big restock in their full-size Pointer 100 jerkbait in a lot of really kind of niche-y colors. So all the key colors, Ghost Minnow, Chartreuse Shad, that stuff's been in stock, but some of the nichier stuff's been hard to get. So we see colors like JP Brook Trout, Bass, which is a super dope one, Engaged Super Rainbow, right? A lot of niche colors from Lucky Craft and Pointer 100 are back. So it might be just a fun week to kind of browse through, see what colors are there, available again. All right, if you hang out and watch any of our videos, you'll notice that whether it's myself or Griff or Andrew and Calendar and Trout Week or Jeff while he's throwing a swim bait, we're all rocking electric sunglasses. And the reason for that is everybody here just loves that Polar Pro lens. It's just super, everything just pops, right? So we don't talk about sunglasses a lot here, but in electric, they launched a new color in a couple of popular styles, in a style that Griff rocks and a style that Jeff rocks. I don't know if you've seen this one yet, Jeff, but this is the brand new color they're calling Battleship. So it is going to be available in the stacker, which is what I have here. So it's kind of just a matte, kind of like a light gray, designed to look like a battleship, right? It's gonna have that gray Polar Pro lens, so pretty dope in that. And then it is also available in the JJF 12, which is, I know, the one that you like. I don't know, it looks pretty dope in the JJF 12. So there is the brand new color Battleship. Excited to get it in. Always nice to have something fresh if you're looking just to you know, rock a new look. This would look good with your new clean haircut, Jeff. So there you go, the brand new Battleship color from Electric, available now. All right, guys, which one is better? Stella or Exist? Well, if you've been waiting for the Stella return, they showed back up early this week. A lot of you guys noticed it and picked them up. But Stella 2500s are back. Exists are also back. 2500, 3000, 4000, all the sizes return. So if you're looking for that ultra high-end spinning reel, one of these is the right answer. I will let you guys decide which one is right for you. But for now, both are back in stock.
So you suggest people buy both at the same time?
Well, that's what I did, Jeff. I didn't want to believe in the marketing hype, so I bought both, and chose for myself.
There you go.
Yeah, and you know the answer. All right, Jeff, let's wrap up with some rods. When Trout Week happened, a lot of you guys scooped up combos, and thank you very much for the business. A lot of the usual suspects flew out of here, right? So you like your Megabass multi-piece rods, your Megabass Great Huntings, right? Evaporated. And it's gonna be a while before we see a lot of those back. But this week we see a really nice restock from another major player in Japan that's starting to get some really good traction here in the US, and this is Smith. Okay, so I'm gonna fly through a couple of these with you. So if you guys are BFS guys or prefer casting gear, we see the Trout and Spin multi-use, as well as the Be Sticky Trout BFS rods return, okay? So the Trout and Spin is going to be more of a high-end styling, right? So you've got more of that kind of traditional trout styling, just, you know, nice wood, grain reel seats, you've got the lockdown, all the normal things you would expect. Beautiful, high-end, crisp. The Be Sticky Trout is one of my favorites for small stream fishing. They're short, they're inexpensive, super clean, super simple, but you'll notice that all of the guides have this kind of bright chartreuse wrapping. And that's because when you're close range and needing to make little whippy type casts or boomerang type casts, or you're in real tight quarters, it's kind of important to see the rod bend because everything's happening so fast, right? Because we're talking about 5.5 foot rods, 5.3 rods. I'm holding a 5.5 right now, right? So everything's happening lightning fast. You kind of need to see exactly what that rod's doing. This is a super dope one. They have more of that glassy type action too. So for treble hook baits, they're awesome. If you guys like spinning rods, so like Cal and Andrew, they prefer spinning over the casting. They just like the action they get. These are amazing. This is also in that Trout and Spin line. This is the Field Dream New Limited. Now these are probably some of the most beautiful multi-piece spinning rods in the store. So these are all 2-piece. They're all going to be in that high 5 foot to low 6 foot range. And you can see just lots of beautiful cosmetics, metal tones, you know, hand-carved wood tones, metal lockdown, just gorgeous, gorgeous rods. So if you're looking for something super high-end, there is a light, there's a medium light, there's an ultralight, and there's a medium. Okay, so depending on what you're after, if you want something a little bit heavier, a little bit lighter, there's options in there. All those are back this week from Smith. All right, and finally we see some specialty kind of niche rods return from Megabass Japan as well. So we've been talking that rods are going to become, or not really become, they've been kind of a pain in the ass for the last couple of years, right? And it's going to continue as COVID continues to shut down random Asian countries as it goes through. Fuji's having problems, Tori's having problems. Everything is starting to fall behind again. So as things come out, we'll just let you know that we grabbed them and have them. And if they're, you know, of interest to you, definitely check them out. So this week we see a return of some saltwater, more surf and bay specific models. So the Shadow XX returns from Megabass. This is an amazing 7/8 light, great like light duty surf rod. It's a 2-piece, so it just comes out one ferrule in the middle, beautifully styled. Those return. We also see a return in the Kukai line. And just because I had Exist in stock, I just put them on because I wanted to feel it. Man, it feels amazing. So the Kukai is basically the Destroyer P5 version in their saltwater sea bass line. There's a lot of models that are completely applicable to freshwater crossover as well. This is one that I would definitely recommend. It's a 7.2 medium spin. It's designed for throwing jerk baits and, you know, like a little jig head, small swim bait. It's got that perfect kind of almost windbuster type bend. It is a 2-piece, so it has a center ferrule. This is with a 3000 Exist on there, so you can see it's just a perfect size for light duty saltwater, freshwater applications. Could be a great one for you guys. There's also a 7-foot medium plus. Okay, so this would be a dope one if you guys are fishing snook, if you're fishing, you know, baby tarpon, maybe peacock bass, and every once in a while you just need something with a little bit more pop for freshwater spin. This could be a great one. It has the bigger guide train on it because it's got a little bit more power to it, right? A little faster. I just have a 4,000 Exist on here. 3,000 would be great too. But with the 4,000, you could almost accomplish anything with this rod. So all Kukai return this week. And then finally, I grabbed the last of the batch in the Megabass Japan Destroyer Carbon Head. Okay, so this is the traditional destroyer build for Megabass, not the P5 crossweave build, more the traditional, you know, one-way graphite running build. What's cool about this is that a lot of these models are super nichey. So they fill little gaps, or sometimes you just want to play with a fun rod. A lot of these rods will really speak to you if you just like to have a good time and try something different. So I'll fly through some of these with you. Speed Tip Custom is back. So this is a really fun kind of, you know, light duty crankbait rod, little top water. It's short, it's only 6'1", it's an F3, but it's got a lot of practicality, a really unique grip here. It's just a different grip than any of the other destroyers. So that guy returns. We also see, that's the same rod. We also see the Eliminator come back. Okay, so this is an F463X. This is a great one too for kind of all around use. You can do a lot of the same things, but it's got a little bit more power to it. So you can throw more soft plastics, weightless Senkos, that kind of stuff. A lot of things you can do with the Eliminator. The Bandersnatch returns as well. This has definitely always been one of our more popular rods in that line. This is a great one. It's 6'8". It's an F5. This is a great one for throwing skipping docks, right? You can light duty frog with it. You can jig and worm with it. Spinner bait, great one for all of those. The G-Axe also returns. This is an F667. This is the original tachyon shaft. Okay, so you guys have heard us talk about the tack shaft in the Destroyer P5. This is that original rod, which is super hard hitting, designed as a jig rod, frog rod. You know, you can skip docks, all that kind of stuff. And then of course the 711 flippin' punchin' rod, telescopic, so it can fit in your boat if you have a shorter rod locker, but just a great one for all around punching and flipping use. All back in stock this week from Megabass Japan. All right guys, that is a wrap this week. Thank you, Jeff, for being here this beautiful Sunday morning. Cheers to you.
Absolutely.
I know you keep eyeing those bug baits over there.
Yep.
Go ahead and take them.
Oh,
it's
cool.
on me.
Thank you, dude. I really
Make
do
us a video
appreciate it.
on your channel. We're stoked
Hell
to see
yeah.
it. Guys, if you have any questions on anything that we covered, please drop them down below and I will get to it. Just a very special note. My mom watches almost every Sunday, so I am hoping she is watching. She had a crazy surgery on Friday and she is recovering. So Mom, if you're watching, I love you and I will see you soon. Hang in there. You're doing awesome. Cheers to you. Guys, on behalf of myself and Jeff and Griffin, everybody here at the Hookup Tackle, guys, thank you for your support. Thank you for giving us time on your Sunday morning. It means a lot to us. We appreciate the business. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Hug your family, catch some fish, drink some from the well of youth. Jeff, last chance. It's going down smooth. Peace, my friends.